Hey folks, and welcome back to Billy's Media Podcast. Today, we will be hosting a very special guest. Hi guys! Now, Eva has been invited here today because she produced her very own magazine. Y'all know that I love to talk about anything media related, and today we will be focusing on production. Make sure to grab your popcorn and get comfortable. So, to start things off, why don't you tell us a little bit about your magazine, Eva? Well, my magazine is a part of the nature genre, so I get to talk about plants, animals, and all kinds of outdoorsy things. Recently, I was asked how my production skills developed throughout this project, so that's what I've joined Billy here to discuss today. Well, that's something that we have in common because I love going out in nature and catching fish and seeing gators, so I guess we both love the outdoors, but let me focus on production here. What were your steps for producing the magazine? Well, Billy, I started off by brainstorming how my pages would look. I created things called flat plans. They're a simple step but extremely helpful. Then I researched what I wanted to talk about in my magazine and I wrote my articles. At the same time, I took trips to the Everglades to take my photos. Lastly, I used editing software to create the layout for my pages. Well, that just sounds great. There are many small steps that go into production, but they're all equally important. Well, anyways, now that we have a basic idea of your production process, now why don't you tell us a little more about how your skills developed? Okay, so when I began my process, I honestly had very little experience. I had never created a magazine before. Something that helped my skills develop was creating a practice magazine. By practicing, I was able to get an idea of what skills I was okay at and what I needed to spend more time working on. For example, my practice magazine lacked certain conventions and the text layout looked unprofessional. To fix this, I did research on magazine conventions and I looked at tons of other magazines from the nature genre to use as examples. Practicing was also helpful because it helped me get comfortable with new editing software that I had never used before. I was able to learn how to upload photos, arrange my text, and change the fonts, colors, and sizes of whatever I wanted. Would you say that your research was helpful? Yes, absolutely. My research definitely helped my production skills to develop throughout the process. Researching things like fonts, color theory, and camera techniques allowed me to get a better idea of the small details that go into magazines and the effects that they will have on my audience. As I completed more research, my skills developed more and more. When it finally came time to produce my magazine, I had all the skills necessary to take photos and create the layouts and designs for my pages. Well, it seems like you're an expert now. Production is a tricky process, but with practice, anyone can get the hang of it. Thanks, Billy, but I wouldn't call myself an expert just yet. I still have more to learn, and I'm so excited for my skills to develop even more in the future. Well, folks, that wraps up today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed this look into production. Make sure to go take a look at Eva's magazine and also stay tuned for more episodes. See ya!